So let's go and check this game out. So DDR Dan posted an East 4 hand. Feels like we're taking a lot more risk for the far tempi. Let's see, which East 4? So let's go to the last one. Oh, so you're talking about like the chi of the like 5-pin right here, where you have like two open people, one guy with like death hand over here. And then I proceeded to chi like the 5-pin right here. Yeah, this one. Okay. Which tiles do you feel were like, I don't know, like too much of a push here? So, to give you an idea of what I was thinking right here. So 2 Dragon Calls early on. Probably not Tempai until I see something comes out from their hand right after this point. Usually like Safe Tile Indicator or like something. They could technically be in Tempai, but of course, a little bit rare. And so usually with like even any like 2 open calls like this, it's like guaranteeing at least Mongon. I will basically just like instantly look, just like keep looking and see like, all right, when are they gonna like overflow? When are they gonna overflow? At that point, dropping anything dangerous is pretty dangerous. So like right here, instead of dropping the 2-pin, I should have dropped the 7-mon right now. It's still not like at the level that I'm like, they're probably in Tempai yet. So should have dropped 7-mon over 2-pin right there. 2-pin was safe, and these are also safe for them as well. Next, follow up with this. Still watching for that overflow. Still watching for that overflow. Now at this point, whenever it gets mid-round, you have to start to think, okay, are they actually in, maybe they're actually in Tempai? But then we saw overflow, and at this point, it's like, okay, now we can probably assume that they're probably in Tempai, and we need to watch out for this. So like the overflow is like the key there. So like 3-so, safe tile for them. Chi. I decided to risk 5-so here, mainly because of their hand. So they have an open hand, and they were doing it from the start, right? They passed up the 2-so calls. They even threw out like the 3-sos right here. And then they dropped an 8-so from their hand. What shapes can they be waiting on 5-so with? Generally at this point, it's only if they have multiple of the 5-sos in their hand. We can see 2 of them right here, which is why I was like, And then they also dropped this from their hand, which leads me to believe that they dropped it from like some connected shape, of which I can't actually think of one that is waiting on the 5-so right here, unless it's a Tonki or a Shabo. And so that's why I was willing to risk the 5-so right here. Especially since they threw the 3-so early on. And then also passed up the 2-so. So it's basically like a Nakatsuji at that point to them. And then, of course, if I am able to call that out, my remaining shapes I can technically call and drop these and get into Tempai without fighting them. Plus, I have the backup of my pair and 5 pins that I can throw to them, which the 5 pins actually look pretty good to most people right now. I mean, I'm sorry, the 8 pins do. This tile was probably never going to come out. So right here, I'm like, I kind of want to call this drop Haku. I'm not willing to drop south. The only way I'm dropping south is if this person drops south or another person drops south before me, then I might be willing to. Else, if I do happen to get like the last tile in something, which at this point would just be the 8-pin, if the 8-pin does come out, I'd probably be willing to call it and throw like the 5 pins, attempt to dash for Tempai, but it all depends on like, okay, whatever I do, I need to make sure I have enough safe tiles for like until the end of the wall, ideally. Even if I do like this right now and throw like this, I still have like 4 safe tiles that I have for this person. 5 pins also safe for this person. I just threw it. 8 pins also reasonably safe. 8 pins also reasonably safe for this person. I don't know what their Yaku is. It could be the last Chun. It could be sha. It could be none. Um, but either way, it doesn't look that bad, especially since there's no Dora pawn right here or earlier here. So if they do have a hand, I'm guesstimating it's probably pretty cheap. Like 2,000, 3,900 at most, maybe. Especially since I can see like 2 of the red Dora. In this case, weren't they actually Tempai? I think 5 so is okay. Were they Tempai? Let's find out. So were they Tempai on the 5th turn? Answer, nope. So they didn't actually get into Tempai until they had the 8 so overflow later on. While hitting Tempai isn't like super rare early on with a couple calls, it's not that prevalent either. Usually you're but whenever you see an overflow tile after that, especially like, you know, mid-round after Tsumo getting a lot of stuff, that's like the big tell of like, hey, watch out. Oh, they were going for Chun right here. That's interesting. Chun back with this. That's really interesting. Why would you go for Chun back with that? I know you're not gonna drop it, but like, you know, even if they're going for Chun, they have like another like Shabo weight. That's really dangerous, isn't it? That's kind of interesting. Yeah, even dealer just like Dama Tempai because they're not willing to risk throwing into that, especially with their lead. Luckily that hand saved me. Alright, so I have a couple notes. Let's check out East 2-0, 11th turn, and 12th turn. So first off, 11th turn. There's a Ricci on the field, and I kind of want to push, but I don't know. Should I push? So if I can draw the 3-pin, 6-pin, 5-so, or 8-so, it's not that bad of a reach. But, I mean, considering everything, well, it's still not that bad of a reach. I mean, it's Mongon Tempai, at least, with Ricci on a double-sided weight. It's a little bit later on, though, which is, like, the big demerit right here. 2-pin isn't super bad, especially since we see, like, the 2-pin and later the 5-pin. Early 2-pin cut from a 2-2-3 shape is a little bit more less likely in that case, I would think. So 1-pin doesn't seem super bad here, as a kind of-ish, early-ish Matagi. But is the Ipatsu turn. But if I do get into Tempai, I'm really tempted to push this. Especially since like the 2-so as well is not like a tile directly around like the Dora, so if it was like a 5-so, that'd be a little bit harder if I had to throw that. But like a 2-so is like, technically okay-ish. If I have a Mongon Tempai, then yeah, I'll fight. If I don't want to throw those, I have 3 other safe tiles I could technically throw and break up my hand. But I'm probably not going to get into Tempai again at that point. Am I okay with that? I don't know. I kind of like pushing the 1-pin right here, if only just a little, to keep this one Shanten still alive. Since if it was like Pinfu Dora, I should probably fold this, but because it's like Pinfu Ipeiko Dora, with Ricci, that's like 7-7 right there. So a little bit more inclined to find any excuse in order to push it. And the semi-early Matagi with the later 5-pin is kind of an excuse for me. Yeah. So I kind of like the 1-pin right there. Now this guy reached, and now it's like, well, crap, what do I do? What do I do here, actually? Yeah, this was kind of fun. Yeah, what do I do here? So they threw the 2-pin, and then they threw the 3-pin. They could still be waiting on the 1-4-pin. But what other tiles do I have that I could throw that's better than that? Dealer Ricci on the 2-mon. Currently, I can see 3 of them. Toyman threw a 3-mon out before. Currently, I can see 3 of them. So 1-mon is technically double 1 chance, but considering that the dealer's Ricci tile is the 2-mon, that makes the 1-mon significantly more scary to throw. even for like a Tunky, like if you have like a penchant, like 1 2 mon, and you get the good tempai or a decent tempai, and you're like, yeah, I'll just take the reach right now. Drop the 2 mon, wait on the 1 mon Tunky. That's not unheard of, especially since it's like 1 cut as well. So yeah, what do I drop here? Maybe I should actually drop 2 mon here. So I'm not willing to risk anything into the dealer. But technically 2 mon is a 1 chance for Toyman as well. 1 pin is not a 1 chance for the Toyman. They also drop the 3 pin, but they dropped the 2 pin earlier. So they would have to have dropped it from like a 2-2-3-3 shape in order to be waiting on this 1 pin. Which isn't that crazy, I guess. I like this question. Today is the 7th.
Dong.
So yeah, they actually did have like the 2-2-3. Well, actually, we can just check real quick. Yeah, they had the 2-2-3-3 shape, and then they dropped.
Each.
Switched out right there, and then dropped the
Each.
3 pin for reach. That's pretty cool. What did they have? Oh, the 6-9 or Manzu 8. Yeah, all things considered, maybe the 1 chance as well as the safe tile to the dealer right there. So 2 mon is probably better than the 1 pin. Since 1 pin's still Musuji and it's not even like a 1 chance for Toyman, while 2 mon is also still safe for the dealer, and it's 1 chance for Toyman as well. So that's probably the better idea. Does 5 pin work? As we can read, Toyman not be waiting on 5 pin. Ooh. Does 5 pin work? I don't know. The 5-8 pin is still kind of a mystery. So if we interpret their hand as like, let's say they, got some type of like Ryamen in their hand, and now they're like, okay, I'm gonna be dropping this 2-3. They start with the 2. They draw the 4 Manzu, and they're like, well, I can't use that, and it's a little bit worse than the 3, so I'm gonna Tsumogiri that. And then dealer declares Richian, so they're like, crap. Or they could even, well, actually, why would they keep like a 7-8? Why would they keep like a 2-3 over like a 9-7? Unless they like had the 9 as a safe tile while they were discarding the 2 and the 3, and they chose the 7 and the 6 Pinzu over that one, and so they're in the middle of dropping it, and then the dealer reached, and so like, well, I'll drop my safe tile. And then they got into Senpai on some whatever else, and now they're willing to finish up dropping the 2-3 pin that they were starting to drop when the dealer reached. Yeah, I think probably 2-mon's better than 5 pin, just because the amount of 7s and 6s that we can see on the board. Like right now, we can't see any of the 6s, we can't see any of the 7s, which makes the 5-8 pin weight pretty dangerous for Toyman. Whereas at least the 2-mon in comparison, we can see like 3 of the 1 mons, we can see 3 of the 3 mons, we can see 3 of the 2 mons, and we can see like 1 of the 4 mons from Toyman. And so in comparison, it looks to be a little bit more nice. Plus they decided to reach, and it's like, what does that mean? Probably that, at its base, that they have at least enough points to fight the dealer with, usually. Let's see. DDR Dan says, can you predict the 1 4-pin weight because he held 3-pin? I mean, as one of the 2 incomplete blocks, if they were discarding the 2 3-pin, they'd usually start with the 3-pin, right? Yes and no. So like, at this point, no one's in reach, and so it's like, yeah, I guess it is a little bit safer. What other reasons would you keep like the 3-pin around? If you had like, I don't know, a 2 3 3 4 5 shape, and you like drop the 2 first because you thought like, well, the 2s and the 5s are already out a lot. I'd rather keep the 3 and the 6-pin. And then later on, like dealer reach, and you were stuck with it. And then whenever you finally got to reach, you decided to drop it out. Is another case that could be. Reading that from the 2 2 3 3 shape, I don't know. Because even in the case of like the 2 2 3 3 shape, it's exactly like dropping a 3-pin and a 2-pin normally. Like you said, they would probably drop 3-pin followed by 2-pin. So it's like, why did they drop 3-pin later on than 2-pin? The answer in this case being a bit weird in that because they were dropping the 2 2 3 3-pin shape not as a Ryeonmin shape, but to confirm their pair in the 3-pins. But then they got another shape completed in their hand, and then they switched it over, which is why it's like the reverse right there. I think they wanted to win, so went for one with more tiles left. Well, like, the 3-pin though right there, I guess, wasn't. I don't know about that, because like, especially like mid round, like if you look at the board right now, like I look kind of meh, but still some kind of activity. This guy looks kind of meh, but some activity. Dealer looks a little bit more lively. And so it's like at this point we're already in the 9th round. Like anyone reaching at this point is like expected. So if you had the choice between 2 ukeire and like, you know, changing that for 1 ukeire and having a safe tile for the dealer, usually you would drop the 3-pin first right here if you're planning to drop the 3 and the 2-pin anyway, because it doubles as a safe tile to the dealer, which is pretty huge. Not to mention, if either one of us reach, would you rather be throwing the 3-pin or the 2-pin? Obviously the 2-pin, because you can see a couple of the 3-pins while you can't see potentially any of the 4 or 5 pins, so the 3-pin becomes more dangerous there. Yeah, this is an interesting case though, because like they were confirming this for their pair, and then they happened to switch right here and make another pair, and then they happened to get into Tenpai right here, and then Ricci confirming their Ryeonmin. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, over 1 pin, even though it is kind of weird right there, I should probably take in the 1 chance. Especially with the tiles around it, like even like Shabo is out of the question right now. Tonki is the only one left, aside from the Ryeonmin with the last 3 and the 4. But that's also unlikely considering that they dropped the 3. So yeah. Fun. Yeah, I kind of like was just like, oh my god, what did I do here? And I was like, well, technically it passed for the dealer already, and they dropped the 2 and the 3, so it's probably okay, right? No. But yeah, I should have probably taken the 1 chance. Alright, I had a random question about East 4-2. Why did they drop the 4-pin? So I dealt in right here, and I was kind of like surprised, like, that's strange. Because they had this shape right here, right? It's like, why don't you keep the 4-pin around right there? So let's find out why. So they drew the 6-pin, confirmed their block with 2 floating tiles, for their last block. And later on happens to draw the 3. That just happened to form a beautiful, naturally forming Suji trap right there. That's pretty cool. That's interesting. Alright, and yeah. I was an innocent bystander that game. Aside from getting killed by that other reach. I didn't win a single hand. Unfortunate. Flirting with Suanko thing right here is kind of fun, but it's like, well, I can't drop any dangerous tiles, so it's just like, keep going what I'm doing. Oh, reach right here, and then jet B reach. Walk out of the picture because I'm not touching that. Death hand right there. Oh yeah, this one is also one of the interesting ones. So I got into Tenpai right here with Pin Fudora, and I'm like, okay, it looks like this guy's going for Tanyao. It looks like this guy's going for Honitsu. Should I take this reach right here? Because the 1 4-mon weight looks really, really good right now. And if either this person or this person draws the 1-mon, they can't keep it, and so they'd have to break Tenpai, or they deal into me. And so I'm like, yeah, let's do it. We have like 2 draws left, but considering the strength of the 1-mon here, I'm like, that looks really good. So was it actually really good? Oh my god, it was really good! Holy shit. 4 tiles still left in the wall for my weights. Wow. Yeah, so I wasn't misreading that. No, all 4 of my tiles are in the dead wall. Unfortunate. Okay, cool. I wasn't misreading that. I'm like, wow, where are my 1s? This looks amazing. Okay. And that's all the questions I have, so I gotta run off and pick up people to prepare for Mahjong. So, thanks for watching, and I'll be streaming some more tomorrow. Later. Spine says, Kanchan on the 4-mon would have been nice. Kanchan on the 4-monzu. Right here. Question mark? Oh yeah, this is an interesting shape right here as well. So we had run, 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 and we had like pair, and then like run right here, and so it's like, well, we need to drop down to 5 blocks, but we want to keep both of our pairs around. So dropping the 5 right here, we don't actually lose anything, which is like really cool. Oh, Changkan on the 5 or on the 4-mon. Yeah, Changkan would be pretty good. Yeah, that would be pretty sweet. All right, catch you later.